about buying new construction in Las Vegas or Henderson, today I'm going to go over the entire process, everything you need to know about buying a new build. Hey everyone, I am Kristen with the Thomas Group at Real Broker, your local Las Vegas and Henderson realtors, here today to go over the entire process about what it's like to buy new construction in Las Vegas and Henderson. Now, before I get into all the nitty-gritty details, if you are new to our channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you are thinking about moving to the Las Vegas and Henderson area, myself and my team, we offer free consultations. You can find all of our information at thethomasgrouplv.com. All right, now, so I do a lot of new construction homes. You might call me the queen of new construction. I love new construction. It's a really fun process. I love going through that with all of my clients. So I thought I would do a video today to help answer a lot of the common questions and things that I have come up with all of my clients that I'm helping throughout the valley. So hopefully you can provide, or this can provide, some very useful information for you. Now, to get started, one thing that a lot of people actually don't know is that you can bring independent representation, and you should, with you when you buy a new construction home. So if you just walk into the sales center unrepresented and sign a contract, you don't actually have somebody that's looking out just for you. It doesn't cost you anything to bring yours truly, a local expert, with you into those new builds. And you might ask, oh, is that going to increase the price of what I pay? No, not at all. You just have somebody there on your side to help you throughout the process. And a lot of our clients that are moving here and buying new construction, they are doing so from out of state, from out of town. So it's really helpful to have somebody that's not only really familiar with the process, but also I can go, to your lot to have a look at things, do different videos for you. Always happy to help. Now let's get into what is going on currently in the Valley right now in terms of new construction. So I am currently in the extremely popular master plan community of Inspirada, where I personally sold a lot of new build homes, and it's really popular with all of our clients. And if you can't hear some banging or some noises, it's because they are building right behind me here. So in addition to Inspirada, where else can you find new builds? I mean, all over the Valley. And it can be a little bit confusing, when you're going to Google and search. So that's another benefit is I've been to almost all of these communities. If you tell me what you're looking for, I can match you up with the individual communities. But if you're looking for master plan communities, some of our top master plan communities with new construction right now are going to be Inspirada, Cadence, and Henderson. Summerlin has a ton of new land that opened up, so Summerlin is great. And then also up in North Las Vegas, we have Valley Vista, which is a really top-selling master plan community. And we also have some new developments up in the Northwest, including Sky Canyon is closing out, and there's a new master plan community called Sunstone. Also up there as well, Sky Hills. So tons to choose from. Again, I know it can be a little bit overwhelming, but that's definitely the benefit, of having a local expert on your side, help you filter through all of that. So let's kind of talk about what the entire process is. From the start, you will meet up with me, and we will go and see the different models in the different communities. Have a walk around. I always remind my clients, especially with some of these builders, the models are decked out. And what you see, you're gonna have to look past all of these amazing upgrades. I mean, in some of these toll brother communities, they put $1 million in upgrades. They don't even offer some of these items. So it's really important to just stay focused, look at the floor plan, look at what you want. Once we've gone through, we've looked at everything, it's important to be asking the right questions from the sales agents at all the different communities. These questions are gonna be, what are the lot premiums? I think lot premiums have gotten personally a little bit out of control. It used to be that a lot premium meant just that it was a premium for those special lots, maybe something with a strip view, or maybe an extra large lot. These days, every single lot has a lot premium. So I don't love it. To me, I wish they would just raise the base price, but it is just something for you to know that you're going to have an extra expense above the base price that you see on the website. Now, what are those lot premiums? It's going to range tremendously. The lowest I've seen recently are $3,500. Actually, I've seen a couple $0 lot premiums, not common, but I have seen it. That's going to go all the way up to $500,000 or more for strip views. It's not always a set in stone thing either. And we're going to get to that when we get to the actual process of securing a home. Now, in addition to asking about those lot premiums, we are going to find out on average, what does the average buyer in this community spend on upgrades? It's going to vary a lot depending on the builder. Some of these builders, they have very basic upgrades. Some of them, again, you can spend the base price of the home on upgrades. In general, I would say expect to spend an extra 10% in addition to the base price of the home on your upgrades. The next thing that we're going to want to find out from the builder is if they have any incentives, if you use their preferred lender or if you pay cash. Now, all the builders, they have oftentimes in-house lenders or lenders that they partner with that if you do go with them, they give you a little bit of an incentive towards your closing costs. Now, it used to be quite a big amount. These days, depending on the builder, it's not that much. I still encourage my clients at the same time, even if you do need to pre-qualify with the builder's lender, to also get an outside opinion as well. Just as an example, I had a client that's going to be closing the next month or so. She was going to go with the builder's lender. They were going to give her a $10,000 closing cost incentive. She got a second opinion, and her rate is almost a whole percentage rate lower than what the builder's lender was going to give her. Now, I'm not saying that happens with all of our clients, that was a rare example, but it's something definitely to look into. So even though she was giving up the closing cost incentive, she still came out ahead. So, after we kind of narrow things down and we've picked a community, we know all the ins and outs of everything, the next thing to do is, how do we get a house, right? And this is where things have gotten a little bit crazy in the last year or so as our inventory has just shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. It used to be that there were plenty of quick moves, that you could wait for different lots. But right now there is so much interest for so few lots. So the different builders all have different ways of handling this. There are some builders, such as Pulte, that are going to do a bid process on the lot. So what they're going to do, D.R. Horton does this as well. They will release a certain lot and say the starting bid for this lot is $53,000. And then we go in blind and we submit our best and highest and say that we submitted our offer at $60,000. Nobody else submitted higher, then we get to go ahead with our build process. It can be a little bit frustrating and challenging, but I've been through it, so I know the ins and outs of it a little bit. Other builders like KB, depending on the community, we do a lottery process. Every time that they're going to have lots released, we sit in, sometimes you need to be there in person, which if you're from out of state, I will attend for you, or we will do it through like GoToMeeting or Microsoft Workplace. And something you can call in as well. And they will put everybody's name into a hat and pull them out. And I just want to, let you know how crazy it is for some of these drawings. Here in Inspirata, the last one that my clients were in, there were 75 people in a drawing for 4 lots. So it's interesting, but you got to be in it. And I definitely encourage my clients to get on as many interest lists as possible. Some of the other builders, Toll Brothers, for some of their communities, they do first come, first serve. It really just depends. So these are all the things that we need to know. One more thing that I want to tell you before we get into the actual build process is quick move homes. I have a lot of clients that they want the nice fancy new home, but they don't want to wait the 10 months that on average we're seeing for the new construction. And also they want to get in before interest rates go up. Well, I am actually really happy to say that this spring, we are actually seeing a little bit more quick move product than we were this same time last year. The builders have kind of know what's going on. they prepared. But again, that can be really hard for you guys to sort through, but I look at it every day. I'm on lists with all of my sales reps, so I'm aware of what's being released. And there are quick moves out there in all price ranges from $400 up to $1 million. So if you are interested in that, please reach out to me, and I can take down what you're looking for, and then when a quick move property comes up that's going to be a good fit for you, we can move forward from there. Okay, now let's get into the whole build process. So we found the lot that we want, we won the bid or we won the lottery, and now we're gonna build your home. It's a really exciting time. When you sign your contract or within the first couple of days, you're gonna be picking what is called your structural options. Now these are all the things that, exactly like what it sounds like, are gonna be affecting the structure of the home. These options will be, if you're gonna do those beautiful sliding doors that open up all the way, adding extra bedrooms, bathrooms, a zero threshold shower. All of these sorts of things need to be selected right at the beginning of when you sign. In addition to that, something else for you guys to know is all of the different builders have a certain threshold for how much money you need to put down up front. They don't want you to go crazy with your upgrades and then the property's not going to appraise at the end of the process. So again, it just really depends on the builder, but for some of them, say once you spend over, let's say 10% of the base price on upgrades, you will need to be paying cash out of pocket for that. And again, don't stress, I'll help you with all that. So we've selected our structural upgrades, we get going with the process. Now this is getting into something that a lot of our clients find really tricky. You have to sign your contract. You have 5 days to back out. After that, you can't back out. We're doing all of this without really understanding the full cost of all of the upgrades in the home. So you're not gonna know exactly what the cabinets cost, what the countertops cost, what the flooring costs. Now, obviously myself and the wonderful sales agents, we can do our best to help you estimate that, but you're not gonna know the exact cost. And I've definitely found that because if you're doing this, if you're looking on YouTube, you're researching this way, you guys are planners. You're like me, you've got your spreadsheets going, you wanna plan it all out. And this is definitely a tricky stick point for a lot of our clients. So eventually down the line in a couple months or so, after you've signed your contract, you're going to have your appointment with the design center. It's really exciting. They've got professional interior designers that you go in with, and they are really good. They do this every day. They work with all kinds of budgets. So you're going to go into the design center, have an appointment, meet with them. Some of the builders do it in 1 day. Sometimes it's a 2-day process, depending on the builders. You'll go through, select all of your upgrades, and we'll move forward from there. Now, after that, we're kind of waiting on them to build. We are having supply chain issues. So I will say, the times that were quoted, we really need to know that that's not set in stone. Say that we sign a contract today, they say 10 months. It could be 12 months. I know that that's really tricky for a lot of our clients too. The next time you're going to see your home is at your frame walk, or I think most of the builders call it a frame walk. So it's exactly what it sounds like. When your house looks a little bit like this, we're gonna go in. Once it's plumbed, it'll be plumbed, it'll have its electrical wiring before they start putting in the drywall, the cabinets, the flooring. And we're gonna have a look and we're gonna go through. Now at this time is when you wanna take all of those options that you selected, all of your electrical options, all different shower configurations that you've done yourself, or if you can't be there, you give it to me as your agent, and we're going to go through and we're going to check and make sure everything structurally is done, because once they put in the flooring and the walls, we can't be adding in that socket that they missed in the slab. So it's really important that we go in there and really check. And they do a good job, but they're putting up a lot of homes, so the superintendents do miss things. Now, going back to the build time of your home, something else that I did want to mention is make sure you read your contract through all the way. We have seen some of these builders put in their contract that they actually have up to 5 years to build your home. Not that they're trying to take 5 years, but that is to protect the builder for unforeseen circumstances, such as a recession. One more thing that I did want to mention about the frame walkthrough and your final walkthrough that can be challenging, especially for all of our out-of-town clients, is they really don't give you much of a heads up. We're a little bit at their mercy, and oftentimes they are setting an appointment. You get an appointment. They're going to say, hey, your frame walkthrough is this coming Thursday at 2 p.m., which, you know, most of us have jobs. It's hard to just drop everything and do that. But again, if you can't make it, myself or my team, we're always there to help. But again, it can be a little bit of a challenge. And that same thing happens for that frame walkthrough and also for your final walkthrough. So before we close, we are going to have our final walkthrough. Now at this point, the house is almost completed. It's completed, but there's usually still a lot of cosmetic things. So we get a nice roll of blue tape. We meet up with the superintendent and we walk through the whole property, make sure all of our upgrades are correct, any issues that we see with the home, paint, you know, the countertops need polishing, this window's incorrect. We make sure we mark it. He writes everything down and they work on getting all of that fixed before our close date. With these supply chain issues that we're having, we are seeing clients close without appliances such as, let's say, the air conditioner that they chose. You know, they're not going to leave you high and dry. They will install a different air conditioner until yours comes in. But I will say we have had trouble with one of the builders. My husband, Steve, his clients had to move in without an oven, which was a little bit silly. But we do have to still close on the house. But what happens is we have an addendum that everybody signs, and any items that still need to be completed, we make sure it's all written out. Everybody signs off on it and that gets taken care of. And I do have to say that the majority of the superintendents and the customer service reps that we deal with are really, really great. You know, we understand that you're moving into a new home and you deserve to be nitpicky. So, you know, if you want this little bit of paint touched up, we'll do it for you. Another great thing that the builders do is quite often after you move in, they will come back one time for you and actually touch up the paint. So if you ding the walls a little bit on move-in, I do like that they do that. And the one final thing that we want to make sure that we do before you close on your home is get an independent home inspection. And this is something that I can help you out with as your agent. The builders do make it a little bit tricky. I mean, I don't think they're trying to make it hard on you, but for liability purposes, the home inspector actually has to submit a ton of documentation. So once we get through that process, we get our home inspector into the property. This usually is going to happen about 3 days before your final walkthrough so that they can fix anything. And it's really important to do this. I mean, we've seen everything from you know, incorrect ventilation being done, incorrect wiring. I had a truss that was broken on a property. And again, it's not that, you know, people are trying to do bad work. It's that they're doing so much. We have so many different trades through. It's really important that we make sure that, you know, everything is safe in the best possible condition because you're paying for a new construction home. So the great thing about, you know, buying a new build versus doing a resale is we just turn that whole laundry list of items over to the superintendent and they take care of everything. Again, if not by your close date, it's in an addendum. We're making sure that it's getting done after you close. 2 more things that I wanted to touch on are interest rates. Now, you know, the build time is, like I said, I would say an average 10 months, and it's kind of fluid with how long things are taking to get in here. You are not able to lock in your interest rate usually until about 60 days prior. And that won't matter if you're using the builder's lender, your own lender, that's just the way it is. So that is something to keep in mind, you know, with interest rates rising, that's what's gonna happen. I will say, while interest rates are rising too, so are the values of the home. So all of our clients right now are stepping into their homes with a good chunk of equity because in the year that's taken to build, prices here have gone up about 20%, which is kind of neat. Now, one last thing that I wanted to mention, because so many of the great new construction communities in Henderson and Las Vegas are in master plan communities, you're going to run into something called SIDs and LIDs. And these are an interesting little beast that I'd never heard of before we came out here and before my husband and I had one. So it stands for a Special Improvement District. And it's a way for the builders to pass on the cost of building the infrastructure of the community to the buyer. So what's infrastructure? Like these sidewalks, the beautiful parks, the lights, the roads. And it is an extra expense of about, I would say on average, $7,000, maybe up to $10,000 per house. Now, this is in addition to your base price, your lot premium, and your 10% on upgrades. But You don't pay it all at once. It's paid biannually. Usually if you have a mortgage, your mortgage company will take care of that payment. And it's usually paid over a period of about 10 years. So, a lot of people end up selling their property, moving into a different property before that SID or LID is paid off. It's just really important to make sure that we know all of the costs associated with your purchase as we move forward with it. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you found that very helpful, and if you do have any more questions, if you are thinking about buying new construction in Las Vegas or Henderson, I love working new builds here. I do it all the time. I know the ins and outs of it, so I'd love to help you. You can find all of my information at thethomasgrouplv.com. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.